For over 9,000 people, hunger is a reality. Many people in Licking County are in need of help with food. Luckily, in 1987, a food pantry network came around to Licking County that helped people in need. Many people rely on one pantry to give for everyone.
I've been working in the pantry since 2006 after I retired the second time.
I'm Susan DeLong. I'm going on my 12th year. I have volunteered at the produce market.
I started July 1st, 2020. So I've been here, it'll be 3 years come July 1st. So I started in the middle of the pandemic.
On Sunday, I opened up the paper and they were advertising for a position with the Food Pantry Network, and I applied, and 3 months later, they hired me on to be their next executive director. So my background really led me into just the work of what nonprofits do and giving back to the community and supporting people at risk. And so it really kind of just fell into my lap. And so, yeah, 19 plus years I have been here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. So history would have been, started around 1981 here in the community. We became a nonprofit in 1987. So we joined Mid-Ohio Food Bank, which is where we get most of our food from, in 1991. 20 years ago, we were a staff of 4. We were moving about 500,000 pounds of food. Fast forward to where we're at today. We're now, we'll push close to 5 million pounds of food out. We're a staff of 7, so we've added one full-time person.
It's changed as far as how we're set up down there. It's changed as far as how many people come. When we first started, I had 25 people. And then as word got around, we got bigger. But we see a lot of homeless has been a big change. A lot of single families, a lot of grandparents raising their children because of maybe some of the drugs that someone has had, and the responsibility they now have for their grandchildren.
Well, one thing, our pantry has changed to become a choice pantry. When they first started, it was just in a small room, and people would come in and sign in, and then based on family size, they would give them pre-packed bags of food or a couple of boxes of food, and they wouldn't have a choice of what to get. And over the years, the amount of food, the variety of food, and now the choices with the choice pantry has dramatically changed.
Good question. So masks was a big thing. And so for me, it was hard to learn the community, and that is such a big part of fundraising for a food bank. And Licking County is such a giving community, but everything was virtual. So it was hard to learn names and faces and build relationships with people through computer screens. And so again, when the government assistance was out there and when individuals were getting assistance outside of us, we had less people coming to us for food. The good news is they were getting food, so they didn't need us. The bad news is, even though the news coverage and the press has stopped, hunger keeps going.
Being here as long as I have, it helps. But right now we're seeing an increase from after the pandemic. We went down. On a Thursday, we've been having maybe 258, 260. Well, now for the last month consecutively on Thursday, we've had over 300.
Contribute financially to the network here because they buy the food from Mid-Ohio at a drastically reduced price. So money donated to the network here does more good than given, say, to the individual pantries. Food given directly to the pantries or here to the network is also helpful, but they can do a lot more with the money. And the streets in town are assigned to a certain pantry because there's multiple pantries and folks can only go to one pantry. So the streets where they live are assigned to individual pantries, and it's usually neighborhood based.
If you support us here, you are going to help somebody here in Licking County. So every donation that comes in stays right here in Licking County. It doesn't go back out.
Okay, well, as one of the network pantries, we get most of our food from the network as the monthly delivery and then all of the pantries are what's known as choice pantries, and the clients can choose which one they'd like. We limit the number that they can take based on family size, so they can choose the brands they like. And most of the items we have multiple brands. So the clients can come in once a month, and then there's 3 extra visits during the year that they can use anytime that they want. We also have an emergency pantry that they can visit once a week, but that will not give them as much food as one of the regular pantries.
Yeah, Operation Feed. So Operation Feed is our largest fundraiser that we run here. We run it every March, and it brings in about 35% of our operating needs. I think there's more than 100 organizations that participate in Operation Feed. So schools, churches, companies. We have a lot of people that will run peer-to-peer campaigns online for us. And that's all just in the month of March. So it's our biggest community giving event. We do also have Elves in Action in the month of December. So between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have community members, volunteer groups that stand outside on the square of Newark and collect food and funds for us there.
Well, it's a variety. There's people from all walks of life. Some have been down on their luck. Some have other issues, maybe some physical issues or mental health issues that doesn't allow them to be on their own.
The vast majority of the families that we see coming in are single mom, single dad, working 2-3 part-time jobs, where they just are struggling to make ends meet. With the vast majority of the folks that we provide food to are working, they just can't find full-time employment with the benefits and everything that they need, and so they're really trying to piece and part things together.
People come in, we've seen these people for a lot of years. They'll hug, they may want us to pray with them. We've sung happy birthday to a guy that turned 94, and we had a little cake in the back. We gave him a cake, and all the pantry sang happy birthday.
I walked into our Seventh-day Adventist pantry, and this mom come in decked out. She looked like $1 million, and she had a little girl in tow that looked like $1 million. And they come into the pantry, and I looked, and I judged just by appearance. And so I watched her go in, and I watched her sign up and get food from us. And I thought, that's a little bit weird. So as she gets to her food and starts to come out, I offer to carry the food out with her. And as we hit her car door, she's in full tears. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she said, "You don't understand. I just lost my job. I worked for Longenberger making baskets. I made really good money." She said, "But I also spent a lot of money, and I don't have anything to feed my daughter right now. And that's why I'm here." So that was probably about 2 to 3 weeks on the job 19 years ago. And I thought, you know what? I'll never judge someone coming through our door, why they may need to get food from us, why they may, what brought them to us.
When the rare times we do get meat, I had an older woman come in, and she said, "I have nothing for our holidays for my family." And we happened to be given hams. And she gave me a hug, and she said, "God bless you." And I said, "This is what we're here for. We're here to make a difference in the people's lives."
So we see different types of foods coming in from different groups each time. But today, what we're looking at is we've had a hard time getting peanut butter in. As we get closer to summer, jelly is also good because kids are going to be home from school, no free and reduced lunches. And so peanut butter and jelly are great things for us to get in right now to be able to pass out and make sure that those families that are coming in have that for their kids. Canned soups are something that pantries always like. We never really know, but the peanut butter jelly, canned soups are always a high priority for us. With what I go after is high kid friendly, because I want to make sure kids have something to eat.
Well, most people, potatoes, eggs, butter, the main staples that people use in their kitchen. Those are the main things that people really, really need right now, especially with the price of eggs. Those are some of the things that people really appreciate and need.
Great thing to spread the message.
Like to volunteer for you guys.
Contribute financially to the network here.
And be a part of a community.
People that you may know could be dealing with food insecurities. Operation Feed and food pantries around the U.S. are at the forefront of fighting hunger. Hunger in Ohio can affect thousands of people and many more in the U.S. However, we can all help, and it all starts with giving to your local food bank.